Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I have Dennis O'Neill, CEO O'Neill Capital Advisors, on the show with me today. All right, Dennis, welcome back to the show.
Oh, Michael, it's always a pleasure to be on the show.
All right, you recently went to two conferences. Tell us about them.
Sure, I was a speaker at two local conferences here in Chicago, Mobile Payments Conference and the Chicago Blockchain Leadership Conference. And they were both over the last weekend.
Okay. What did you talk about?
Well, you know something, it was kind of interesting because the Mobile Payments Conference was, there was a lot of, of the entrenched interest, the large banks, the large credit card companies, the large processing companies, the software guys that are trying to, bring new products to the market. And it was, to be honest with you, it was a little bit sad because I'm watching all these companies. They're trying all these optimization strategies. They're trying to, utilize software to make it faster, cheaper, and to be able to grab more data. And the problem with that is this, all these companies have billions of dollars, invested in these legacy infrastructure deals. And I did a panel on should banks and business fear or embrace cryptocurrencies, and I let them know that these companies are going to be Ubered. I mean, they're going to go to the ways of the taxi cab companies. I mean, all of a sudden they can't change to what they're doing now because they're making too much money. And if they go to blockchain, they'll lose significant amounts of revenues and profitability. Maybe they can make it back up in volume, but I highly doubt it. One of the other things that was kind of interesting is that everybody is coming out with their own rewards app, the Pay Rewards app. So all these corporations, they're all up pitching their app, and they're acting like somebody's going to walk around with like 50 apps on their phone, and they're going to use Pay, for each individual purchases. So I mean, it was interesting. Our panel was very, very interesting, and I think that at the end of the day, I think that these guys don't get it yet. I think they're too small-minded and short-sighted because blockchain's happening in a significant way, especially in Asia, and these guys are going to have to compete against that at some point in time.
Well, don't you think they can just integrate it instead of having to switch?
Well, there's billions of dollars on these legacies, and a lot of this hardware, a lot of the software that they have, a lot of that is not necessary. And basically what we call that is the bloated middleman. And a lot of these legacy systems are old, but they still have, they're still showing assets of billions of dollars on the balance sheet.
Okay, so there's just too many people in the middle getting paid on this deal for them to fight the bureaucracy to actually move forward, and they're just going to fail.
Well, I mean, the real issue becomes is that when you can move money and pay for free, if you're a company or on the other side, or almost next to nothing. Why would you go through a credit card or a processing company? It just doesn't make sense. And I think that the industry is so fragmented at this stage. Everybody has their own rewards app, and it's their own pay app, and I think it's really, really fragmented. And I think that all these apps and all this current technology are going to get leapfrogged by blockchain.
I'm going to go with you on that. All right.
Okay.
Before we close out the interview on what you did, and I think it was Chicago, right?
Yeah, no, I have another conference I was at as well.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, then, but before we move on to the next conference, was there anybody notable that was at the conference that you spoke to that you'd like to bring up and give them a shout out or something?
Something? No, I mean, there was a couple of people on my panel. I think that they're earlier stage ICO companies. I don't represent them, and I think they would probably be too early for my investors. So I think that no, I mean, I wouldn't recommend any of the companies that were there.
Hey, let's keep it.
A lot of them were. A lot of these companies at the mobile payments things, these were just big corporations with booths, and everybody on the stage was that. The only people that actually were ICOs were the guys that were sitting on stage with me.
Okay. Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago Blockchain Leadership Conference was very, very interesting. Basically, what that is that they take the top academics from the local colleges and they bring in industry, and it's a 50-50 mix and a 50-50 mix on all the panels. And it's very, very interesting to see how the people that are actually in the industry, how they view things, and how the academics, like the PhDs and these math scientists and things of that sort, how they view the industry. And it was a very, very interesting conference. It was I moderated a panel on AI and blockchain, and that went really well. I mean, basically, AI is all the content that is going to be going through AI, artificial intelligence. I mean, they need to make sure that that content is really, really, really secure, clean, and that it won't be changed. And all that data will be stored on blockchain, and then AI will utilize that content or that data to, obviously do what artificial intelligence does, which is optimize, optimize, optimize.
Got it. All right, Dennis, thanks for being a guest on this show. I look forward to the next video.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba.